Hello everyone, welcome to the Angular Stories series. In the last episode, you built a good knowledge of Angular components composition. In this episode, you will learn the life cycle of an Angular component. By the end of this video, you will understand the different phases an Angular component goes through from being created to being destroyed, know how to hook into those phases and add your own code, learn about the code, the most common used hooks, and finally some good practices. An Angular component goes through many phases. Thanks to these phases, we can control the whole application by calling the method that is triggered with each phase. Those methods are called hooks, and here is the list of methods that are triggered in order. The constructor, as it is named, it's the first thing called to construct the class or the component. onChanges triggered when an input or output binding changes. onInit triggered at the initialization phase of a component. onDoCheck triggered at every change detection run, and onDestroy triggered when the component is going to be destroyed. There are other hooks that happen before the component destruction phase that are specialized in the view and content of the component. So, whenever you want to control this aspect in your component, you will be using these following hooks. The ngAfterContentInit hook is triggered when the component's content is projected. The ngAfterContentChecked hook is triggered when the component's content is checked by the change detection mechanism. The ngAfterViewInit hook is triggered when the component's view is fully initialized. And the last one, the ngAfterViewChecked hook is triggered when the component's view is checked by the change detection mechanism. It's easy to be confused here, as the content and view of a component may seem to be the same thing. To distinguish between these phases, here is what you need to know. On the one hand, the content phases represent the moment when the component's child views and the external projected content have been attached. This content can come from the ngContent tag. At this moment, the property decorator addContentChild and addContentChildren will be resolved. You will have a clear understanding once you learn more about content projection in Angular in the upcoming videos. On the other hand, the view phases represent the moment when the component's child views are fully initialized and their properties are available. At this moment, the property decorator addViewChild and addViewChildren will be resolved. Some hooks are triggered once, such as the constructor, the ngOnInit, the ngAfterContentInit, ngAfterViewInit, and ngOnDestroy. Others are triggered several times. Alright, now how can we hook into these phases? It's pretty simple. All we need to do is first implement the method or the hook in our component and add our own code and instructions. This seems too much to memorize, right? The right way to deal with this is always to refer to the documentation when needed and start by learning first about the most commonly used hooks. The first one is the ngOnInit, as this is the phase where you want to get some data and subscribe to observables. The second one is ngOnChanges, as here is the perfect place where you'd react to a change. And third, last one is in G on destroy, the place for cleaning up and unsubscribing before the component's destruction. There are some good practices and tips to know about Angular hooks. Always refer to the official documentation when needed. Always implement only the hooks you will be using. And finally, in case of several hooks implemented, order them by their lifecycle order. It is recommended to order them this way for code readability and clarity. You will be able to predict how the code controls the component by reading hooks code in order. Our episode ends here. Thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next episode of the Angular Stories. Till then, keep learning and stay tuned. If you like the video, please subscribe to the Web Stories channel, hit like and enable notifications to get notified whenever an episode is out.